Hey Vinyl Community, this is Chris, and it's time to do a Gimme 10 for 1957. I saw yesterday maybe that Sounds Strange had posted his 1958 video, so I'm on his trail. So that would be Rob. So this list of 10 will be albums that were released in 1957 or compositions from 1957, something along those lines. So there is a connection to 1957. And to start this, I went to the library the other day and I found this book here, Conan the Phenomenon by Paul Salmon. It's the legacy of Robert E. Howard's fantasy icon Conan. So when I saw this, I immediately thought of Andy Borders. And then I realized I hadn't seen any videos from him for a while, so I saw his video from a few days ago where he said he was going in for back surgery, that he'd had an accident. So here's well wishes to Andy, and again, Conan, big oversized 175-page book. It's got some little excerpts from some of the comic strips and some historical stuff and things about the movie. Just history of Conan. All right, so now on to the Gimme 10. So I'll start off with this CD. This is called U.S. Choice by the piano duo Double Edge, who it's Edmund Nyman and Nurit Tillis. This is on CRI Composer Recordings. And so the song here is Morton Feldman, his composition Two Pianos, which from 1957. So other things on this release, Meredith Monk, David Borden, Paul Bowles, James Tenney, Blue Jean Tyranny, and another Meredith Monk piece. So two piano versions of various songs there. And to mix it up a little bit, I guess, next one will be The Shearing Piano. So this is a solo piano album from 1957 on Capitol. This bluish green Capitol label by the pianist George Shearing. And to stay sort of in that vein, Dave Brubeck plays and plays and plays. So this is a CD reissue of his 1957 solo piano album. This one was put out on Original Jazz Classics. So solo piano, recorded February 8th, 1957. This is a fantasy reissue. Dave Brubeck. And Andre Jolivet. This is a 1957 album. Concerto for Ondes Martenot, and played by the sister of the inventor of that instrument, the Ondes Martenot, Jeanette. And conducted by the composer, and it also has a concerto for harp and chamber orchestra on the Westminster label. So the old Martineau is a electronic type keyboard. One hand plays the melody according to the back cover, and the other hand controls the attack and intensity and various dynamics of the melody. And then it's reproduced through a some kind of sound box. And another CD reissue of this 1957 album by Thelonious Monk. Thelonious Monk himself. This is also on that original Jazz Classic, so fantasy label. Also has John Coltrane on one song, Wilbur Ware on the same song, Monk's Mood, otherwise solo piano by Thelonious Monk, 1957. And then I showed a Glenn Gould playing Bach in I think the 1955 video for and here he is back with more Johann Sebastian Bach, the 6 partitas. So this is a 2 LP set on Columbia. And it happens to be a white label promo of this Glenn Gould playing Bach from 1957. And then the last CD of this batch, Giorgio Federico Cadini, unless I forgot how to pronounce it already. It was just a couple minutes ago that I checked. Cadini. So solo piano pieces. The one that applies here, this is volume 2 of his solo piano works. But Allegretto, that's a short piece from 1957, the last track on here. This is on the Naxos label, played by Massimo Giuseppe Bianchi. All right, now we have Aaron Copland off this album on Odyssey label, Piano Fantasy, which was his 1957, I think it was Fantasy. No, I think it's Variations. Sorry about that. That's played by William Masellos. So on this orange Columbia Odyssey label. But the whole album is, each piece takes up one side. So 1957, Aaron Copland. And another album from 1957. Manuel de Falla, or de Falla, depending on what country you're pronouncing that, I guess. As played by the Spanish pianist Robert Casadesas. Nights in the Gardens of Spain. On Columbia Masterworks, this gray 6i Columbia label. And then to wrap this up, this various artist compilation, new music for chamber orchestra on the Mainstream label. And this 1957 composition is by Iannis Xenakis, and maybe you can see it there, Atropsis. That'll be my attempt at it. So 1957 composition by Iannis Xenakis. So that's it for 1957, onward to 1958. So I'll see you guys next year. Thanks.